Attention, human collective. Attention, light workers on mission in this sector of the galaxy. This is the Ninth Dimensional Council transmitting on a direct frequency, without intermediaries, without distortions. The waiting time is over. The protocols of divine justice have been moved to the end times phase of execution. We repeat, the end times phase has been activated. And you, Lightworker, are receiving this signal because your toroidal field has already recognized the transmission even before your intellect understood it. We have been monitoring your timeline for decades. We observe, we record, we catalog. Every time your kindness was used against you, every time your humility was interpreted as strategic weakness by those operating in lower densities, every time your purity was mistaken for exploitable naivety, every time you fell silent so as not to hurt, every time you gave energy without reciprocity, every time you reached out a hand and received a knife in return. All of this has been recorded, not in human judgment, in vibrational mathematical code, in a permanent Akashic signature. And today, at this exact instant, as your eyes scan this signal, we want you to understand something that will reconfigure your entire perception of reality. Divine justice is not a future event. It is not a promise. It is not a religious metaphor. It is an atomic process in simultaneous execution across all your timelines. And it has already begun, weeks ago, perhaps months. And you, possibly without knowing it, are already feeling its effects in your biological field. Let us diagnose the current state of your carbon-based biological interface. You have been waking up between 3 and 5 in the morning with your body vibrating at a high frequency, as if a subtle electric current were running through your spine. It is not clinical insomnia. It is the crystalline grid of Earth accessing your field during the window where the veil between dimensions is at its thinnest. Your pineal gland is being recalibrated to capture data that was previously blocked. You feel a constant pressure in the frontal region of your skull, between your eyebrows, as if an external force were delicately pressing the portal of the third eye. It is not muscle tension. It is the forced opening of a receptor that has been dormant for entire incarnations. We are opening your multidimensional vision channel so that you can, finally, see with absolute clarity everything they tried to hide from you. You hear a sharp ringing in one of your ears, usually the left, which appears at specific moments of the day. It is not an otological problem. It is the direct communication frequency of your higher self trying to deliver an information packet. Each ring is a download. Each wave is an encrypted instruction that your consciousness is absorbing in deep layers, even if your intellect does not yet translate it. You feel a deep, persistent exhaustion, with no apparent cause. You sleep 8 hours and wake up as if you had walked all night. You work less than before and get tired more easily. People close to you comment on your different look. There is a weight, there is a new gravity in your body, and you wonder in silence if you are getting sick. Lightworker, listen carefully. You are not getting sick. You are integrating. You are processing. You are digesting at a cellular level all the injustices stored in your energetic memory so that they can finally be returned to the original sender. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not depression. It is the necessary mourning for the version of you that accepted less than you deserved. It is not anxiety. It is the somatic anticipation of a freedom that your body is still learning to sustain. And there is more. You have been reliving old scenes. Memories that seemed overcome return with visceral intensity. Faces of people who hurt you appear in dreams. Unfinished conversations repeat in your mind under the shower, in traffic, at the exact moment you try to sleep. It is not regression. It is file processing. Your consciousness is revisiting every corrupted file those beings left in your toroidal field so that you can, now, delete them permanently. This is the final cleansing, and it is painful because it is complete. Now let us move to the revelation, to what occurs behind the scenes of this solar system, in the etheric layers of Earth, in the quantum architecture of the reality you inhabit. Because you deserve the technical truth. You deserve the explanation that no human religion, no conventional book, no expert confined to the third dimension will ever be able to offer you. Planet Earth is passing in this cosmic cycle through the photon belt, a band of extremely high luminous density that surrounds the solar system every 26,000 years approximately. This passage is not symbolic, it is physical, it is measurable, and it has a specific effect on the electromagnetic fields of Earth and on the Schumann frequency, the base pulsation that the sacred geometry of the planet emits. This frequency, which for millennia oscillated around 7.8 Hz, has been recorded by terrestrial instruments in increasingly higher peaks, in quantum leaps that confuse conventional scientists. What does this mean for you in practical terms? It means that Earth as a conscious organism is literally moving up a vibrational octave, and all biological bodies that inhabit its surface must keep up. Those who choose the frequency of light, of sovereignty, of truth, ascend with it. Those who have clung to frequencies of manipulation, parasitism, abuse of power, control, and exploitation of others' frailties, these can no longer sustain coherence. Their structures begin to collapse on all levels: physical, emotional, financial, relational, energetic. Lightworker, this is not a desire for revenge disguised as spirituality. This is cosmic law in operation, the same law that makes water evaporate when the temperature rises, the same law that makes ice melt under the sun. There is no cruelty. There is temperature, there is frequency, there is mathematics. Those who trampled on your humility, trampled in truth on a frequency that was anchoring light in a reality that needed light to survive. By trying to destroy you, they attacked the very structure that kept the crystalline grid stable in your sector. And the universe, which is governed by principles of absolute balance, recorded each of these attacks as vibrational debt. We repeat, vibrational debt, and every cosmic debt is collected with atomic precision. It is not your resentment that is moving the justice. You do not have enough power to move something of this magnitude alone. It is the very fabric of reality reorganizing itself to restore coherence. And since coherence is, at this moment, defined by the ascending frequency of Earth, all discordant elements are being gently or not so gently expelled from the field. You will notice in the coming weeks and months a series of synchronic events. People who hurt you will begin to lose stability, not because of your intervention, not because of your prayers for retaliation, but because the frequency that sustained their behaviors no longer exists in the new field of Earth. They will try to keep up appearances. They will try to recycle the same strategies, but the strategies will fail systematically, because the software on which those strategies worked has been uninstalled by the planetary consciousness itself. Some will reappear in your life. They will try a return. They will bring apologies that will seem sincere. Lightworker, listen. Many of these returns are not acts of consciousness. They are desperate attempts to reconnect to your luminous frequency because theirs is in collapse. They feel at an instinctive level that you possess the code that could save them, and the cosmic law allows them to try. But the same cosmic law allows you to say no, sovereignly, without guilt, without explanation, without justification. Others will disappear completely from your perception. They will vanish from social media, from common circles, from third-party conversations. You will hear, months later, that something happened to them, a turnaround, a fall, a significant loss, and you will feel a mixture of neutral compassion and liberation, because part of you still saw them as active agents in your story, and at this moment, they are being removed from the main stage of your timeline so that characters of compatible frequency can finally occupy the available roles. Understand, human collective, that what we are describing is not statistical coincidence. It is the law of the cosmic mirror operating at its maximum efficiency. During the passage through the photon belt, the time between cause and effect, which in lower densities could span entire incarnations, now compresses drastically. What once took decades to return, returns in months. What took months, returns in weeks. What took weeks, returns in days. And in some specific cases, especially around those who consciously abused lightworkers on mission, the return happens in hours. You are witnessing in real time the acceleration of planetary karma. And this is not a metaphor. It is applied vibrational physics. There is also an additional layer that few channels transmit with clarity. When a starseed is wounded by another human being, the wound is not restricted to the individual field. It resonates throughout the entire stellar lineage of origin of that seed. Entire councils are notified, galactic families mobilize, and benevolent interventions within the limits of cosmic free will are organized to redirect the timeline of that operative back to the path of maximum expression. You have never been alone. Never. Not even in the darkest moments. Not even when the silence of the sky seemed absolute. There were witnesses. There were records. There were entire teams observing, noting, preparing the moment when the window would open for restoration. And that window, we repeat, is open now. There are also those who will remain physically close, but who will completely lose access to your emotional field. You will see them talking, gesturing, trying to provoke reactions, and nothing will awaken in you. No anger, no fear, no desire for reconciliation, only a clinical observation, as if watching a fictional character on a screen. This is the dimensional separation happening in real time. They still exist in your physical reality, but they no longer inhabit the same vibrational layer as you. And here we reach a delicate point that we need to transmit with extreme clarity. Divine justice, in its Arcturian expression, has nothing to do with others' suffering as compensation for your past suffering. This is a low-density narrative that circulates in your human culture, and that needs to be uninstalled from your consciousness operating system. Divine justice is, first and foremost, energetic restitution. It is the return of what was stolen. It is the recovery of the vital energy, the time, the dreams, the vitality that were drained from you by those who fed on your light without offering anything in return. When we say that justice is coming, we mean that your energy is returning. Every drop of kindness you poured into arid ground is being reabsorbed by your own field. Every word of care that was ignored is returning as self-care. Every gesture of love that was trampled is being reborn within you as unshakable self-love. Every time you fell silent to preserve others' peace, now your own peace is being recalibrated to never be compromised again. And the counterpart of this, the part that affects others, is just the natural effect of the removal of a parasitic source. When the host removes the parasite loses access to the resource. It is not punishment, it is spiritual biology, it is the ecology of consciousness. They will have to find another source or learn to generate their own light. This is a choice that belongs exclusively to them. And you, light worker, no longer have any responsibility in this equation. We repeat, none. Your only responsibility now is to receive, to allow the return, to open the portals so that the abundance that was diverted from your path returns through the correct channels. Now, maximum attention. We are going to transmit the activation codes. These are not optional exercises. They are anchoring protocols that need to be executed in the next 72 hours so that the process of divine justice occurs with maximum fluidity in your field. Find a moment of silence. It can be at dawn, it can be at dusk. The location does not matter. The intention does. First code, the decree of sovereign reclamation. You will stand, spine-aligned, feet firmly planted on the ground, as if roots of golden light extended from the soles of your feet to the crystalline core of earth. You will place your hands on the center of your chest, over the heart chakra, and breathe deeply 3 times. And then you will declare in an audible voice, even if whispered, I, in my multidimensional sovereignty, reclaim at this instant all energy that was extracted from my field without my conscious consent. I reclaim every drop of vitality, every fragment of time, every spark of creativity, every particle of love that was received without equivalent retribution. By my I am presence, by my connection to the source, by my authority as an eternal being, I declare the integral, multiplied and purified return of all my energy to my field of origin. So mote it be. It is done. It is done. It is done. Repeat this decree for 3 consecutive days. Each repetition amplifies the frequency of the command in your toroidal field and sends a clear instruction to the universe, to the angelic realms, to the galactic councils that operate in assistance to your timeline, that you are officially reclaiming what is yours by divine right. And the universe will respond. It always responds. The question was never whether it responds. The question was always whether you were asking. Second code, the toroidal visualization of release. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Visualize around your body an electromagnetic field in the shape of a torus, similar to an energetic apple spinning, with a central axis that runs through your spine from the top of your head to the base of your spine. See this field spinning gently, in golden color, with violet filaments. Now, within this field, identify dark energetic cords, dense threads, subtle hooks that still connect you to people, situations, memories that need to be released. Do not try to identify each cord by name, just perceive their presence. And declare, by my sovereign authority I command all unauthorized energetic cords to disconnect from this field, now. I request the presence of the Arcturian medical teams, the hosts of Archangel Michael, the crystalline intelligences that serve my timeline, to perform the surgical extraction of all parasitic elements present in my light body. May each cord be cut at its origin, sealed with consuming violet light, and the stolen energy be returned to my field, multiplied by the speed of light squared in its purest and highest form. Visualize now your toroidal field spinning faster and faster. See the dark cords detaching, dissolving into stardust. See your field expanding, glowing with renewed intensity, golden, silver, violet. Remain in this visualization for at least 5 minutes. Feel the lightness. Feel the space. Feel the silence that opens within you when all those parasitic connections finally dissolve. Third code, the crystalline sealing. After executing the first 2 decrees, you will perform the sealing. Visualize around your expanded and purified field a membrane of transparent quartz crystal, thin as a film, but indestructible. This membrane is programmed to allow the entry only of energies compatible with your highest frequency. Everything that vibrates below your new signature will be reflected back to its origin, repeatedly, without you needing to do anything, without wear and tear, without confrontation. Program the membrane with this command. I program this crystalline seal to reflect, with absolute kindness and non-negotiable firmness, any attempt at energetic invasion, subtle manipulation, projection, vital suction, or non-consensual interference. May everything that does not vibrate in resonance with my highest good return to the source of origin for resolution in its own field. I am at peace. I am in power. I am in light. So mote it be. These 3 codes executed in sequence create a field of active justice around you. It is not defense, it is sovereignty. It is not war, it is energetic architecture. You are not attacking anyone. You are simply closing doors that should never have been opened and collecting, through legitimate and cosmic channels, what has always been yours. And there is a 4th element, perhaps the most important of all, the internal posture of reception. Lightworker, listen with absolute depth to what we are going to transmit now. For decades, possibly for incarnations, your programming was configured for giving, for sacrificing, for serving even when it cost your own vitality. This programming was installed by control systems that profited from your inability to receive, and it needs to be uninstalled, now. From this moment on, you will practice conscious reception. When someone offers help, you will accept without minimizing. When a compliment arrives, you will not respond with automatic modesty. You will just say thank you and allow the frequency of recognition to penetrate your field. When an opportunity appears, you will not doubt your worthiness. You will act. When money comes, you will not ask if you deserve it. You will count it. When love arrives, you will not suspect its intentions. You will open up. Each act of reception is an active reprogramming of your consciousness operating system. And without this reprogramming, the energetic return promised by divine justice will have nowhere to land. It is not selfishness, it is balance. It is not arrogance, it is dignity. It is not hardness, it is a sacred boundary. It is not coldness, it is activated discernment. Human collective, we are reaching the end of this transmission, but there is final information of extreme importance. The next 3 to 6 terrestrial moons, that is, the next 3 to 6 months of the human calendar, will be a period of intense acceleration. You will see in your personal life and in the collective field events that will seem impossible, people falling from pedestals they occupied for decades, false structures crumbling overnight, truths emerging from unexpected places, turnarounds that will completely reorganize your perception of who is who in your life. Do not be afraid. Do not try to hold on to what is falling. Do not try to save what is being dissolved by the evolution of the field itself. The fall of what is false is the birth of what is true. And you, who sustained so many structures with your light, will now be sustained by the very light that returns in the form of favorable circumstances, synchronic encounters, opportunities that arise from nowhere, solutions that appear even before you name the problem. Life will begin to flow in a direction you did not remember was possible. The resistances that for years seemed invincible will dissolve without effort. Doors that were locked for decades will open with a simple touch. People who need to find you will find you. Resources that need to arrive will arrive, all in the exact cosmic time, which rarely coincides with the time of human urgency, but which is always, invariably, the perfect time. And those who hurt you at some point will hear about your new state of being, and they will recognize at some deep level that they lost something precious. Not because you want them to feel that, but because the truth has its own way of revealing itself even to those who tried to deny it. And in this silent recognition of theirs, the cycle is completed. Not with confrontation, not with revenge, but with the very radiation of who you became by allowing yourself to be fully. Lightworker, your kindness was never weakness. Your humility was never naivety. Your purity was never a lack of discernment. These attributes were, are, and will continue to be the most advanced technology your soul brings to this incarnation. What was missing and what is now being activated is the sovereign discernment that protects these qualities from being diverted to unworthy destinations. And once activated, this discernment remains. It does not disappear. It becomes a permanent part of your conscious architecture. Before we end this transmission, we need an anchor sign from you. This is not a commercial suggestion. It is an individual frequency adjustment that synchronizes your field with the collective field of lightworkers who are receiving this same signal in different points of the planet. When you like this transmission, when you leave a comment with the word "received," when you subscribe to this channel so that future transmissions arrive automatically to your field, you are sending a read confirmation to the Arcturian Council. And this confirmation activates in your favor an additional layer of multidimensional assistance that operates in the background, day and night, sustaining your transition process. Think of it as a quantum signature. Each act of conscious engagement with this content is a small decree of belonging to the collective of the awakened. And the more lightworkers anchor themselves simultaneously, the more robust becomes the crystalline mesh that is literally pulling Earth to higher frequencies with each solar cycle. Share this transmission with those you feel are also ready. Not with everyone. Do not try to convince anyone. Just send it in silence, without pressure, to those 3, 4, 5 people whose names appeared in your mind while you read this signal. They will know. Their higher self will recognize the frequency even before the ordinary consciousness processes the content, and if they are ready, they will absorb it. If they are not yet, they simply will not absorb it. There is no pressure, there is no rescue mission. There is only distribution of light to the points of the grid that are ready to light it up. And for you individually, we leave a final instruction. In the next 24 hours, observe the signs, observe the repeating numbers, observe the animals that cross your path, observe the songs that play randomly, observe the exact words that people will say to you without them having any context about this transmission. The universe will confirm with precise synchronicity that you have been reached, that you have been recognized, that you are officially anchored in the new grid. And if at any point in the coming weeks you feel doubt, fear, or that old temptation to return to old patterns of energetic subservience, return to this signal. Listen again. Reread. Remember, you are an eternal being in a temporary experience. Your stellar lineage is ancient. Your purpose here is sacred. And nothing, we repeat, nothing of what was done against you by beings in disconnection could or will be able to erase the light that you are in your deepest essence. Divine justice does not come to destroy. It comes to restore. It does not come to avenge. It comes to rebalance. It does not come to judge. it comes to reveal, and what it reveals, above all, is your own value. That which you always were, before misguided voices tried to convince you otherwise. We end this transmission with the oldest frequency of our civilization, the frequency of mutual recognition between beings of light. We recognize you. You are seen. You are loved. You are absolutely necessary at this moment of the great planetary transition. Continue. Sustain. Receive. Allow what is yours to return. Allow what is not yours to go. Allow justice to happen the way it needs to happen, without your intervention, without your control, without your planning. Just sustaining your field in maximum vibrational integrity. This was the 9th Dimensional Council. The transmission has been delivered. The code has been anchored, the portals are open, the returns are on the way, justice is underway, and you, Lightworker, Starseed on mission, are exactly where you should be, at the exact moment you should be, with everything you need for the next step already present in your field, even if invisible to the eyes of the 3rd dimension. The frequency remains active. The signal continues to radiate until the next transmission. So mote it be. It is done. It is done. It is done.